Desiree, aka Mama Friendly, and I do all sorts of videos on this channel, from cooking videos to planner videos, vlogs, hauls, homeschool videos with a Disney twist, a little bit of everything. So if any of that sounds like fun to you, I hope that you'll subscribe and join me on my YouTube adventure. Today's video is the latest and perhaps last installment of the Crockpot Palooza collab hosted by Tiffany of Small Town 6 and Jessica of Jessica My Rose. I'm gonna have both their channels linked below along with a link to the playlist for this month so you can see what all my friends made for their Crockpot Paloozas. For the last several months, Tiffany and Jessica have been hosting this collab and inviting us to share crockpot, slow cooker meals, and everybody's come together to share all sorts of recipes, from full meals to side dishes to desserts even. And so for my last Crockpot Palooza video of 2022, I decided that I would bring you guys a family favorite. It's a recipe that I've been making for literally years. I adapted it from one of my mom's old cookbooks ages ago, and it's something that I have many times a year. It's a pantry staple for the most part, and it's just so flavorful and delicious. It's a great soup for any time of year, but especially when it starts to get cold. I'm talking about the, unfortunately named in my opinion, Peasant stew. And like I said, I got it from an old cookbook of my mom's like ages ago, so I couldn't even pinpoint the original recipe, but all you really need for it are things that you can find in your pantry: a lone onion, which everybody's got rolling around in their pantry somewhere, and you could use chicken thighs for it, which are a very cheap cut of meat. I tend to have them in the freezer all the time, and it's a sort of Tex-Mex inspired kind of flavor profile. There's a little bit of acid to it, there's a lot of heat, but it ends up being this really warm, brothy, sort of creamy soup with a little bit of sour cream at the end, which of course I use dairy-free, and I'll get into all of that in the recipe portion. But it's just a very balanced, very flavorful, super easy soup, and it comes together in no time at all. I actually regularly make this with chicken straight from the freezer all the time. So now that I've kind of told you what we're working with, let me show you what I'm working with. We're gonna get right into making our peasant stew. So these are the ingredients for our extremely easy yet super flavorful stew. So I've got some chicken thighs here. This is about 1.5 pounds. This was frozen, but it's thawed-ish now. It's fine, regardless, it'll be cooked by the end. We've got the equivalent of an onion here chopped. I love this recipe because these are all things that you typically already have on hand. Everybody has an onion, right? But if we've learned anything from my cooking videos, is that my knife skills are garbage, and I always go the easy route where I can as far as chopping things. So I went ahead and I got this for the recipe today. You need cumin, black pepper, and sea salt. These are to your liking, but I highly recommend you use all of them, especially the cumin. It adds an incredible flavor to the finished dish. Then onto the pantry staples that everybody has on hand, and that's what makes this such an incredibly easy dish to throw together last minute. You need a can of red kidney beans, a can of fire roasted tomatoes with green chilies. You could use Rotel. I happen to have this brand on hand, so it's what I'm using today. You need one of these small cans, 4-ounce cans of diced green chilies. This is a hot stew, it's a spicy stew. And a can of pinto beans. So the process for this is extremely simple. We're gonna put our chicken and our spices in our crock pot. We're gonna top it with the onions, the diced tomatoes, and the diced chilies, and everything is gonna cook together on high for 3 hours. Then we're going to add in our kidney beans and our pinto beans drained. No need to rinse them, but do drain them. And they're going to cook for the last hour of cooking, just to heat them up and kind of incorporate them into the dish. Once it's ready to serve, you're going to want to add a little bit of sour cream on top. I like this dairy-free variety. I also like to top it with some cilantro. The brightness of the cilantro, the creaminess of the sour cream, they play really well against the very spicy stew. This is absolutely delicious. It is so easy, definitely in heavy rotation in our house, especially when it starts to cool down. All right, friends, there you have it. I told you it comes together super, super simply. You can do it all day on low, or you can do it in just a few hours on high. And like I said, I make this with fresh chicken, I make it with frozen chicken, and almost everything else that you need for the recipe is stuff that you probably have in your pantry all the time anyways. So it's a great meal for those days where you wake up and go, oh man, what are we gonna have for dinner tonight? No problem. Just look around. You probably have everything you need. Throw it into the crock pot and get to work on everything else because dinner will be ready when you are. And as you saw, it is for the most part totally allergy friendly. The only thing is, if you are dairy free like I am, you should probably make sure to have some dairy free sour cream on hand. That's completely optional, but I really like putting it in the soup at the end because I feel like it kind of balances out the heat, and then the lime juice or lemon juice kind of add a whole other layer of flavor. If you feel like this might be too spicy, no judgment, but you could leave out the small can of green chilies if you'd like and just have the chilies from the Rotel in there to bring a little bit of heat. I do recommend having some element of heat in there though, because I feel like it helps to round all of the other flavors out. I really enjoy the recipe. Like I said, I've been making it for my family for years. I really hope that you will too. If you decide to make it, I'd love for you to come on back and let me know how you liked it. And I want to remind you before you go to check out that playlist in my description box so you can see what all of my friends made for their slow cooker recipes this month as well. I want to thank you so much for being here and watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope that you'll please give it a big thumbs up. I'd also love it if you'd subscribe and click that notification bell because I post at least 3 times a week and I wouldn't want you to miss a minute. Thanks so much again for watching, and have a safe and happy new year. Bye!